America's airports didn't just lose passengers, they lost the plot. The so-called gateways to the world turned into overpriced stress factories with vibes of a bus station at 3 a.m., and the world noticed. Stick around, because you're about to learn the three forces kneecapping U.S. air travel: cost, friction, and reputation, how they're playing out city by city, and the brutal pattern that predicts which airports bounce back and which ones become ghost terminals. Here's the truth nobody at a ribbon cutting wants to say out loud. We didn't wake up one morning to empty terminals. This decline was built. One visa delay, one security hassle, one viral clip of airport chaos at a time. If you've felt it as a traveler, imagine living it as a city that depends on arrivals to survive. Let's start where the neon used to never sleep. Las Vegas. The desert fantasy didn't die. The funnel did. When the flights stop, the magic goes dark. The front desk, where Mandarin, Korean, and Aussie accents used to collide, now hums with air conditioning and apologies. Visa hoops. Ticket shock. Security that treats tourists like suspects. Travelers run the same calculation and land somewhere more welcoming. Europe smiles, Asia streamlines, and Vegas learns a hard lesson. You can't comp your way out of a global perception problem. Chicago O'Hare, the swaggering gateway that used to feel inevitable, lost its confidence. For international gates asleep in the middle of the day. Frankfurt, Seoul, even Toronto scaled back or gone. Safety headlines stick like glue overseas, fair or not. Tour operators quietly reroute to Boston or Seattle because parents don't book their dream America with a side of anxiety. When the third largest city can't convincingly say you're safe here, tourists believe the other cities that can. Orlando should be recession-proof. It's not just a destination, it's a childhood promise. But the promise is getting taxed to death by soaring fares, hotel spikes, and visa purgatory that punishes families for planning ahead. Parents who used to pack mouse ears now pack receipts and resentment. If your magic requires a spreadsheet and a prayer, families will choose a different fairy tale, one that welcomes them with an e-visa and a smile. Detroit's airport was supposed to be the comeback engine, the sign that the city's next chapter had arrived. Instead, it's quiet enough to hear the fluorescent lights buzz. When direct flights vanish, you don't just lose tourists, you lose the investors, the conferences, the reasons to believe. A hub without hubs becomes a layover no one bothers to book. New Orleans hurts the most because culture is the product. You can turn down a ride in Detroit. You can skip a convention in Chicago. But choosing not to hear live brass in the city that invented it? That's a cultural recession. International routes thin out, festival seasons soften, and the music still plays. Only now it plays to empty chairs. A city built on hospitality can't thrive when the border experience says, try somewhere else. Denver, the inland crossroads, discovered an ugly irony. Americans are flying more, just not to each other. Why pay more to visit family in California than to drink espresso in Lisbon? Why feel nickel and dimed at home when currency exchange turns dinner abroad into a bargain? When a hub loses its role as the place where the country meets itself, we don't just lose connections, we lose understanding. Those missed flights become missed weddings, missed deals, missed empathy. Honolulu is paradise with a policy problem. Hawaii didn't pick the geopolitical fights or the social media narratives, but it lives with the fallout. The lifeblood markets that once filled entire concourses are down to a trickle, and an island economy can't drive market. It's way out of a trans-Pacific drought. When a place is beloved as Hawaii becomes, maybe next year, that's not a marketing issue. That's a mood. San Francisco was the postcard for innovation. Then the postcard became a warning label. Tech money can buy lounges, but it can't buy trust. Travelers don't book an airport, they book a city, and if the city's first impression is boarded retail and viral street scenes, airlines do the math for them. Routes follow demand, and demand follows comfort. Right now, comfort is connecting elsewhere. And then there's Philadelphia, the birthplace of American pride fighting terminal-level chaos it didn't fix fast enough. When baggage belts stall, security lines crawl, and review pages flood with 1 stars, people don't debate, they defect. Carriers trim routes, travelers reroute, and the spiral tightens. You can't charm your way out of a first impression that screams, no one's in charge. So, what's really happening here? 3 simple forces compounding. First, cost shock. Domestic fares that feel like ransom notes. Hotels priced like IPOs. Families doing math on napkins and picking Portugal. Second, friction fatigue. Visa waits, opaque rules, and security theater that mistakes suspicion for safety. Every extra form is a push towards somewhere easier. Third, reputation rot. The internet turned local headlines into global brand damage. Cities don't get to explain nuance to a traveler booking on their lunch break. Here's the pattern that decides who survives. Reduce friction, raise hospitality, repair the story. Airports that win will make arrival feel like arrival again. Simple, human, fast. Cities that win will stop arguing with travelers' feelings and start over-delivering on them. Cut visa times. Expand trusted traveler programs. Staff security lines like you mean it. Train frontline teams to welcome, not wave people through. Price honestly. Say yes more. Make "we're glad you're here" the first and last thing a visitor experiences, because the alternative is the slow fade we're watching now. Empty gates become fewer routes. Fewer routes become fewer reasons to visit. Fewer reasons become less revenue to fix what's broken. That's the doom loop. You don't climb out of it with a press release. You climb out by making the next traveler's day easy, and then doing it 10,000 days in a row. If you've made it this far, you already know the uncomfortable headline. America didn't lose tourists to better landmarks. It lost them to better treatment. The fix isn't a new terminal selfie wall. It's the boring, beautiful work of making people feel wanted the second their wheels touch down. Tell me your airport story below. The good, the bad, the never again. And if you want more deep dives on how cities rise and fall in the real world we actually travel through, hit subscribe. Next week, we break down the comeback blueprint. The airports quietly turning the lights back on, the policies that work in months, not years, and the one change any city can make tomorrow that flips perception faster than a marketing campaign.